Hi everybody! Hi every spirit, welcome very much to my YouTube channel. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here, and today we are talking about how to water the seeds from the new moon in Sagittarius. The new moon just happened, but it's not over that. Your spiritual work, your internal work starts on the new moon, and then you have to, quote unquote, of course, to water those seeds, bring the right states, the right spaces, the right emotions, ideas, and connections until you experience the full moon. And then after the full moon, it's different. Instead of how to water your seeds, is how to clean your garden or how to use your fruits, right? So, first, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Use the links down below to reach more of my content and to get in contact with me to get readings and personal consultations. The new moon in Sag was yesterday, or it finished yesterday, so we were focusing in planting new seeds, new opportunities, new imaginations, new feelings, new emotions that deal with being mutable and adaptive with your visions, actions, expressions, faith, belief, imaginations, dreams, nightmares, testimonies, wisdom, knowledge, and spirituality in general, right? Also, the experiences that you get from traveling, either internally or externally. So it's all about being mutable, aka being able to associate your own testimonies, your own wisdom with others via your expressions, your visions, and your just creativity and spirituality in general. So it's time to really believe in yourself, believe in your possibilities, express your truth without being too afraid of the consequences, without realistically, without even caring about being real or on point. Yes, it's true that we have Jupiter opposing Sagittarius because it's in Gemini right now. So in order to expand, yes, we need to make a bit more sense. We need to be more logic when talking about spirituality. But if you are a content creator or if you are in the right path into spirituality, that has been the challenge, that has been the path already. Because if you like me, we know spirituality is real. We are the demonstration that spirituality is real and makes sense, and it creates reality. But the challenge is, or it's not really a challenge, it's just like it never really was done before in these current times. It's to put the spiritual knowledge that everybody to a subconscious level at least know it's true into a way that it's logically correct, and you can point outside and say, oh, that thing that represents this spirituality, right? So that's the challenge, and we're already doing that, especially since Jupiter went into Gemini. Jupiter into Gemini is taking spirituality, make it make sense and be realistic, and then spread the word. So basically, we already have that. So if you're already participating into that energy, you just need to focus now on being creative, exalted, uplifting, because that's one of the most powerful tools down here in this world about spirituality. It's about being uplifting and making you and your values and what you like seem valuable in your own perspective, right? But how to take care of the seeds? You had these great dreams, you had these great imaginations, you did a ritual, you fulfilled yourself, you planned the future, either internally or externally, but how to actually do it? Because there is no more powerful spell than you doing it, right? So let's start by today. The moon is in Capricorn, then it will move into Aquarius, then into Pisces, then into Aries, then into Taurus, and then full moon in Gemini, which will be a different part, because at that time we're already collecting the fruits of the seeds, right? So first, with the moon in Capricorn right now, it's all about creating a new routine and limits and boundaries to apply and actually do and say the seeds that you planted on the new moon in Sagittarius, and slash also internally, emotionally open more spaces where you can feel really supported and really safe, but within you, not because of something outside, because you can do something happen outside that meets your stability, your limits and boundaries, and can support and help grow the seeds that you have planted with the new moon in Sagittarius, right? And it's very, very important to uphold and create new limits and boundaries. Because if you don't do that, you can allow the world to come in and push you into places that you don't want to grow these new seeds, or they just don't allow you to expand because you are not applying and upholding your limits and boundaries. Then, as the moon moves into Aquarius, we're going to get a sextile, an opportunity to feel more realistic, to feel more light, more consistent, more unique, and more sure about the reasoning or the seeds itself that you have planted with new moon in Sagittarius. Because during the new moon in Sagittarius and during this whole cycle, you might lack the confidence in the realism and the sense of the seeds that you planted on the new moon, because it's Jupiter and it's mutable. So you might have a reason, but you might not trust it. It might not make sense to you, or when you imagine yourself talking with others, it might not. You might think it doesn't make sense to them. But with the moon in Aquarius, we have the opportunity to feel more consistent and realistic, to feel more unique and logical about the cycle that we are in. But in order to achieve that, or in order to really be into that state, you gotta have a fixed mind, right? You gotta have a core set of values. You gotta have already a defined uniqueness and individuality, and you gotta be sure about the opposition of Aquarius, which is Leo. What things do you like to entertain and be entertained by, and what things you like to pay attention to, and what parts of yourself you like to receive attention from, right? And then if you have that fixed, if you have that figured out, and you can speak on it clearly and confidently, you'll be able to fix your new moon in Sag seeds, but they're not stuck, they're not stagnated, they are fixed, but it's still that air element, so they can still move, they can still be unique, and it's not about you expressing everything that you planted, but it's about you communicating in a way that makes sense and it's consistent, and in a way that allows you to either build or expand on the associations, limits, and boundaries that you started right now with the new moon in Capricorn, right? And then as the moon moves into Pisces, it's a square, so a learning opportunity. We are learning how to just do whatever you do in Sagittarius, but more internally, with more responsibility, with more feelings, more emotion, more care, more heart, less distant, less go happy, go lucky, less or more personal, more connective, right? Basically, it's just taking the seeds that you have planted in the new moon in Sag and just go deeper. Don't change too much about it, just go deeper, go a bit more private, go a bit more in love, in contact, in see other reflections, other materializations, other possibilities of those seeds, right? But be careful, don't go too far into the internal realm, don't go too far into the dream realm, into others' dreams and illusions. Don't allow others to come too deep into your dreams and illusions, right? Because things can go south real quickly because it's too much expansion, it's too much Jupiter plus Neptune plus Venus exalted, so too much connection, too much mingling, too much sharing, too much, we don't know if those are my values or your values, and then you can expand on that, and it's like a mixture that doesn't make sense, or you are expanding on somebody else's values and you get nothing, or somebody is expanding on your values and then they get nothing and they might get mad or just create weird situations, right? But as the moon goes into Pisces, it's a learning lesson how to go deeper and have more care, and how to not get lost using the new moon in Sagittarius seeds. Then as the moon moves into Aries, we're going to have a trine, right? A trine to initiate, right? A trine to be what you have planted on the new moon in Sagittarius, right? So with a little bit more passion, a little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit of more recklessness, and a huge dose of individuality and ego that comes from your internal realm. Remember, because this is about the moon. So everything that we are talking about, you already have to place it in a mental space where it's coming from within. It's in you, and then you make it real, or you attract things that match that vibe, that match those patterns that you are in internally, right? So what is going to be like when the moon hits Aries in relation to the new moon in Sagittarius? It's going to be a gift to feel more confident or insecure, to feel more ready, or still be ready or feel ready but don't feel as secure, so you might not actually act on it, or you might reject some attractions that actually could be the seeds already blooming, because at this state we're really close to the full moon, right? And because it's a trine and a fire trine, it's easier to see those things. Those things are easier to spark into existence. It might not be easy to maintain them, it might not be easy to communicate them, it might not be easy to feel good with them, but they're gonna be there, they're gonna be in front of you and everybody else. And why I'm doing this? Because it's a fire trine, internally speaking, especially. So it's going to be a lot of sparks, it's going to be a lot of feelings and thoughts that come real quick, and then you gotta do it, you gotta be in them, because they're not going to last forever, right? But you can make them last more by connecting those new feelings, those new emotions, those new needs to express your uniqueness and individuality, if you can relate them to the seeds that you have planted on the new moon in Sagittarius, right? Because of the mutable factor, you can spread them to other areas of your life, other areas of your psyche, subconscious and conscious awareness. But then you really gotta be them. Even if you're not sure, you gotta take those roles. Otherwise, you will never create or even know what could have been. And then you know where you're gonna land, on the coulda, shoulda, woulda. Internally speaking, that's really crazy. Just about emotions and feelings. Hold on, don't go there. Okay? Then, as the moon moves into Taurus, it's going to be an in conjunction. So right after the full moon, we're going to be misunderstanding feelings about reality, being fixed, being secure, being private, having validation, having profit, emotionally and physically speaking, because what have we planted, or we should, quote unquote, planted on the new moon in Sag, it's all about dreams, imaginations, expansion, potential, reaching the far objective, traveling. The goal is the travel is the good, is the objective. And then in Taurus, with the moon in Taurus, exalted, if you don't have the bread, right, you might feel bad. If you don't have the table to eat the bread, you might feel bad. But with the moon in Sag, or the seeds planted, it's like, oh, we are getting there, we are traveling in the best way possible to get the bread, to get the table, right? And if you don't have a realistic enough scenario, even not coming from others, you might feel weird because you were not stable enough. Well, we're not really supposed to be that stable with moon in Sag and Sag season, right? We are supposed to expand spiritually, mentally, metaphysically, and then make it true when the sun goes into Cap. Of course, you can throw all the logic out of the window, but the misunderstanding when the moon is in Taurus will be coming from there. From reality versus dream, from stability versus expansion, from security and validation versus being alone, being seen as the black sheep, but being spiritual, not being limited and blocked by reality and what should be. You make what should be for your own realm, right? And then the moon hits Gemini and it's full moon, and it's time to collect the seeds and analyze how have we taken of the garden. That will be for that correct time. And also after the full moon, we're going to analyze how to clean your garden or how to sell your fruits, because after you harvest your fruits or your wheat, you're gonna then either store them or sell them or make clothing or use the products of your fruits to do something profitable, because they might be the profit, or you still need to sell them to make profit, aka associate with others, apply to your routine and patterns, but that will be for another time. So now you know how it will be in general, the travel, the expansion, the journey from moon in Capricorn, or basically new moon in Sag, to moon in Taurus, and how to bring water, what are the best waters to bring to your seeds so they can grow properly. Because it's not just about growing, right? If plants grew without order or without structure, it wouldn't work. And that's why we have different plants, because they grow with different structures in different conditions. And astrology is that, but on a spiritual level, right? There is a reason why we have different signs, because people behave and react and act and think and feel in different ways. We all humans, but at the same time we're not all the same human. We all spirits, but we're not the same spirit. So as we all went through Moon in Sag, right? As we go through other emotional spaces, we gotta bring the right water to our seeds so they can grow in the proper way. And what is the proper way? That's personal. But you know now what space you have. That's why astrology is so important, because it doesn't tell you what to do, that's on you, but it tells you, like, oh, it should be a bit more like this, or this is the goal, or every spirit or majority of spirits, because I don't like to be literal here or too literal, are going in that direction. So if you want to sell something, or if you want to create a group, we better go there, because that's where most spirits are. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for watching once again. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and if you want to see more of it and get in contact with me, use the links on below and the email as well. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings and emotions, and a whole bunch of individuality, creativity and responsibility as well. Believe in yourself, believe in all possibilities, and remember, the best way to be is to be your goddamn self. See you next time.